Hello, I'm Robin Smith with the Rock Your Relationship Sisterhood, and thanks for watching me here, whether you're in my Facebook group or on YouTube or Instagram. And today we're talking about how to handle it when you're in a relationship with somebody who tends to hog the mic, so to speak, where you end up doing a lot of listening and not as much sharing because they tend to talk a lot about themselves. And so some different strategies for how to work with this. So first I want to say, this was brought up to me by somebody in my world. And so I thought I'd speak about this because I know it's not uncommon. And I've heard this from many people. And it's also been something that I've dealt with over the years in my life. And so I will say a little bit about myself around this issue, and then we'll dive into some strategies for you. So for me, I will say that in my early childhood, when my parents got divorced, I was just under 3 years old, and my mother became emotionally depressed. And so she became unavailable to me emotionally. She was preoccupied in her mind. She wasn't that as attentive as she had been before. And I remember times when I would call out to her and she wouldn't hear me. And this actually still happens. So this is also part of her nature, just to be super focused on something and not really be able to tune into what's going on around her. So I would call out to her and she would be immersed in the crossword puzzle or whatever she was doing. And I would be like, Mom, you're not listening to me. So it would be very upsetting for me because I felt my thought was she was ignoring me or she didn't care. And, I know that now that wasn't the case, but that's what it appeared to be then. So for me, I think that this is especially a sensitive area for me because I have that old wound of people don't care. My mom's not there for me, or I don't feel she's paying attention. And some other early wounds as well, including the divorce. And so when these things happen to us early in life, people not being attentive to you, people not being there for you, it can be really painful. And what children do with that is they make it about me. It must be that I'm not worthy. It must be that I'm not lovable, that I'm not good enough, things like that. So that's what children tend to do with scenarios like that. And so for me, what happened, I don't know if I can say it directly from that, but I do know that I became very soft-spoken. For one, I sucked my thumb until I was 8, so I was self-soothing for those early wounds. And also, I just didn't speak very loud. People often had trouble hearing me. They would often tell me, I didn't hear you, speak up. And I think that came from just not feeling valued, not feeling confident, probably because of those early wounds. So you may have a different story, but maybe some of that resonates for you. And then for me, I became more sensitive about wanting to be heard and not knowing how and less able to be the one who's like hogging the mic and sharing all about myself and telling good stories. And my brother was a great storyteller and I wasn't. And so I became, I was just kind of more the quiet one. So to this day, I don't have many relationships or any that I can think of where I don't feel like I'm being heard. So thank goodness I've learned a lot over the years. I've done a lot of work on myself to get to a place where I do speak up for what I need and want. I do speak up for what's important to me. And I also now cultivate relationships with people where my voice is heard, where my needs matter. If someone's hogging the mic, if someone's talking all about themselves, or I speak up and they immediately turn it back to themselves, I'm probably not that likely to be a good friend of theirs because I don't feel like they value me and what I have to say. And I've had relationships like that where I just started to pull away because it just felt like, well, you don't seem to care who you're talking to. You just want to dump all this stuff on me and you don't really want an exchange. You don't want to hear from me that much. You're not that interested in me. There wouldn't be like a reciprocity of tell me about you and what's going on for you. And it would always come back to them. So So I'm in a place in my life where I don't have relationships like that. I don't cultivate that. I don't keep that going because it doesn't meet my needs. It doesn't feel good to me. However, if you're like this person who I spoke with the other day, who has a relationship like that, and you do want to keep it in your life, maybe it's a close family member or a long-term friendship, and you don't just want to pull away, then there's some things you can do to potentially bring that, some healing or some deeper connection into the relationship. So one would be to talk about it. And that would be the main thing I'm going to offer you here, is to let the person know how you feel and what you want. Now, I'm saying that very specifically in this way because I don't want to encourage you to tell them what you don't want and how you don't want to feel, as much as how you do want to feel and what you do want. So you might say something like, I notice when we talk, I'm doing more listening and less sharing. And I know for me, I tend to be more timid about sharing. And I like when people ask me how I'm doing. I don't just want to assume. And I also like a feeling of equal reciprocity where there's a give and take and where we have, more or less equal sharing time. And it would feel really good to me to share more of myself with you, but I often find it difficult to do that with you because I don't know how to get in or to insert myself. And I also don't want to be too assertive and would like to feel like you are interested. So would you be willing to check in with me when we're having a conversation and ask me how I'm doing or ask me what I think? That's one idea, is to make a request. And if you were in my recent communication training, we talked about how to do that skillfully. And so you heard me do that, and you can rewind to listen again. And you could also say, that would help me know that you care, or that would help me know that you're paying attention and that you're interested. And I really want to feel that you're interested in me, because I like holding space for you. I like listening to you, but I also want that returned to me. So something like that. Or you could also make a different kind of request that says something like, would it be okay with you if I share a little bit about what I'm going through and what I'm thinking right now? And if I could just have you listen to me for a while without interruption. And that would be a different kind of request. So those are two suggestions for you if you do want to keep a relationship going where you feel a real imbalance in the give and take, the kind of the sharing and the listening ratio. As you may know, I hear from a lot of women, if you were in the recent communication training or with me at other times, a lot of women were sharing how difficult it is for them to express their needs and to ask for what they want. And they feel really scared, they feel shy, they feel afraid of rejection. So put a me too in the comment if you also feel that way. And what I would tell you is, I get it, I totally get it, and you're not alone at all in that. And you really can learn how to do that. And I don't think it's just a communication skill. So for me, as I shared, it was an older wound for me. It wasn't just that I needed to change my communication. For me, it was that I really needed to start valuing myself more and building my confidence and my self-worth, my self-esteem. So I was coming from a place of, I deserve to be heard, and I deserve to have people interested in me and caring for me and attending to me. And from that place, I started to create relationships where I felt a lot of equality and a lot of balance in the relationship, instead of this constant feeling like, why do I always do the listening and I'm not getting heard? So a lot of our communication stuff, challenges that we have with people, can come from older wounds, can come from deeper places where we got hurt, where we weren't met in the way we needed to be met. And unless we address those deeper wounds and those old pains or those old beliefs we have about ourselves, then we won't get very far with just tacking on a strategy. So that's why I encourage women, especially, to get more support around doing the deeper work. So if that's of interest to you, I do still have a couple spots left in my program. And if you are at all interested in that, or you are knowing that you want deeper help and you want to get to the source of stuff, then I invite you to book a relationship breakthrough session with me. And I'm putting the link here below so you can look for that underneath this video. And in that session, we'll look at what your challenges are and where they might be coming from, and where you want to be and how to close that gap so you can be living your best life, living to your fullest, living vibrantly and with confidence and feeling empowered and strong in your life. And it doesn't have to take forever to do that. It doesn't have to be super hard to do that. You can do this. And I'm putting a stake in the ground for you to believe in your own potential, to believe in your own capability of healing the wounds and getting to a place where you feel strong and empowered and can create these beautiful, loving relationships that you want for yourself. So grab a spot with me on my calendar. I've got a few more left there, and I hope to see you soon. And either way, I hope this was a helpful video for you. Please, if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe below. And I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.